Hello and welcome to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Silky Smooth
and Daydream.
We'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today we don't have a specific topic. We're going to have what is called open mic. So we're going to talk about a multiplicity of things, just kind of getting some feel out there and see how you feel about some of these topics. So basically, I think for me, I would like to bring up something that it kind of bothers me. I'm not sure if it should, or I may need some commentary from some of the other hosts and from you out there. Okay, I recently had a death in my family that we had to let go of this week, as has Susan, our wellness warrior. She's not here today because she is going to celebrate the going home of her mom. So we all have loved ones that we care about, that we lose, and you want to keep them as close as you can. I'd like for somebody to explain to me, why are there so many memorials on the side of the freeways? And I think they're, when I say distracted, that's not to be callous, but I don't know that while I'm driving, I want to see a bench, a cross, when I go to work sometime, I actually see little memorial areas off in the grass.
Or teddy bears, or
yeah,
those kinds of or symbols.
Yeah, am I the only one? Is there something? Do we need that? I mean, all of us love our people, and
I can see why, because that's where they passed that.
I get that,
and I think it's also a good reminder, especially if it was a drunk driver or careless driving or something. It's just a good reminder to pay attention and really,
I don't know if it's just that. Well, I know if somebody gets hit because they're on a bike and that sort of thing, but I just don't know if while I'm driving, I need to look over and be reminded that somebody died here
or be informed.
Well, right.
It does make me sad. And I do get a little distracted because I'm stopping and I'm captivated by, especially if I see a teddy bear. I'm like, and now I'm wondering what happened.
I've seen some,
and I can't ask anyone.
I've seen some where they have the little wind blowing thing. I mean, got a lot of stuff right in front of this area, and a bench, so that they can actually, I guess, sit
I've
there.
seen them where they almost look cluttered. It almost look like a
lot of
junk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen them like that.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't mean to sound rude with that, but it just appears as though that could be a distraction and actually cause an accident.
Right, and then we'll do a memorial for you next. Teddy bear.
No, not that.
Yeah.
That's just the thing with me, but I think it's a distraction. I don't think we need to. It's kind of almost like putting it right in your face. I understand you've lost your loved one. I've lost mine, but mine isn't in your face, and I don't think it's always about they got killed here. Why do we need to be reminded of that? The family knows that. They're the ones who need to acknowledge and be reminded of that. I don't think the whole state or the whole city actually needs to be reminded.
Well, like I said, I really don't see a problem with it. I mean, especially if it was an accident or for whatever reason, if that was someone's, where they took their last breath, if that's how their family wants to remember them, then by all means, why not? We've done it before. We used to not have all these regulations and zoning laws that when your loved one passed, you buried them where you wanted to bury them or where they wanted to be at, and that was done.
I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, so to me, it's the same thing. You're just memorializing where they're at, because truly, for me, that's their final resting place. Yes, we may have buried them somewhere else, but where they took their last breath is their last place. So, yes, I'm not going to go to every hospital room and leave a memorial for my loved one wherever they were at, and but for something like that, to me, that had to have been very tragic and unexpected. So if that's where I want to go in remembrance, then that's where I'm going to go, and that's where I'm going to place my items.
You can go there in your head. I don't know that we have to go there and the whole. Again, we don't know the story.
But I'm thinking people want to make a political statement, especially if it's a situation where there was a drunk driver. I think in a situation like that, they want to say, "Look, this is what happens when you act irresponsibly and you drink too much. This is your fault. Now this teddy bear is out here, and now we have to do all this to show passersby what has happened, to keep it on your mind that we need to behave more responsibly." I think many times it is a social consciousness thing, and in that case, yeah, I do appreciate it. Now, I will be honest, when I see it, it does make me sad. I find myself wondering, and I can't ask anyone, and I do kind of want to know, and sometimes I am distracted by it, but I don't know that I would tell the family, get rid of this. I mean, how long are you going to leave this separate? I don't know that I would be the one to say that.
I don't think, again, if that were the case in my situation, heaven forbid, I don't think I would memorialize it there. I would deal with whatever it is at whatever point and move on. I mean, as best I can, because all of us have like I said, we all have loved ones. I just lost somebody this week. Susan lost her mom this week.
Now, do we know the family did that?
Because I don't know. I can't see anybody else doing it.
Well, you know what?
Mothers against drunk driving, I don't think they're going to do that. It's too many of those. And I read signs quite often that says X amount of
the
people
billboards,
been killed.
And they have the things on the freeway.
Exactly.
But sometimes when other people know about it, they will set up memorials in the family's honor. So the family may not have even set that up. It could have been neighbors or other people. And the reason I'm saying that is because I have seen people behave the way. The other people are so angry about the situation, they set up a memorial, and the family didn't necessarily have anything to do with it. It would have been other people.
Everybody
sometimes
grieves differently. Everybody wants to remember their loved ones differently.
Right.
And so that's just a comment.
So I'm saying I don't even know if it was a family, may not be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, if you guys have an opinion about this and the topics that we're going to discuss today on Open Mic, give us a call at 713-789-0096. So, Dave, did you have something that you wanted to comment? We just go around. Yeah, we're going to go around. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not, even if you don't want to comment on the topics that we're discussing, maybe there's
something
something you want to discuss. By all means, please give us a call here at the studio or text us at 833-OMG and you. You can also hit us up on the live Facebook feed, so thank you to everyone who's already checked in doing that. But two things that happened today before coming here.
See, we all have stuff.
It's
just gotta say it right.
So let's get into Facebook, okay? So Facebook decided to block me today because I was moving too fast.
Wow.
Well, slow it down. Slow it down.
So I was going down the friends list to invite for our show today, and I'm clicking. I was actually on a desktop this time, and normally I'm on my mobile phone when I do it. And we had already discussed about, hey, go on a desktop because it's limiting you on your friends list whenever you use your phone or whatever. So I go down to click. It then prompts me once I hit invite. It hits the encryption. I have to enter the encryption code. And once I hit that, then I get a notification that basically it appears that I was utilizing a feature too fast and therefore have misused it against their policy, and I've been blocked.
That's crazy. Well, I'm not a big Facebooker, so.
Did it say how long you're going to be blocked?
It didn't tell me that. So it says report the incident here. So I click on report the incident, and you know what that stupid thing tells me?
What?
It tells me I can report what happened, this and that, but at the bottom it also states this whatever is not monitored, it will not affect what kind of response we give you. So it's like, why do you want my feedback? You just want
nobody's there.
No,
nobody's home.
No,
nobody's home at Facebook.
Not at all.
Okay.
Y'all still haven't had enough of Facebook, but go ahead. Yeah, I mean, it's too controlling. It's too many.
Yeah, I can understand the block feature.
But moving too fast, I mean, that's not everyday
Now, normally,
situation.
I've had friends get blocked because it was inappropriate conduct, there was graphic language, or someone reported it because they didn't care for what they had posted and they're just being haters, whatever.
Right.
But I was utilizing the feature too fast.
That's crazy. I mean, the whole world is predicated on speed. This is what I can't get over. The cell phone, the internet, everything is based on speed. So now when you go too fast.
Let me see. I screenshot it, and it says, it looks like you were misusing this feature by going too fast. You've been blocked from using it.
Yes, Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, and so I haven't been able to invite anybody for today at all.
But the thing that bothers me about that is when are they going to lift that?
No,
I mean, you just block.
Usually it's 24 hours. Yeah, usually it's 24 hours.
See,
I don't feel blocked. But that's, I'm not sitting there posting nude photos or, graphic and using all kinds of language. So I was just inviting on the event that I created.
So what is the accepted speed? Do you know?
It didn't tell me.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So you may do it again.
Yeah.
Right, you don't know what you're doing, and
isn't it when you just have to fill those.
I was using the mouse and clicking.
Yeah, right.
That's it. I didn't hit a select all. I didn't do anything special. I didn't do some sort of jailbreak
You did
thing.
something.
You did
something. No, I know. Now that I think about it, I think she did something.
No.
Well, here we have again with somebody else having control. I have issues with when I can't run my own.
Right. And if we were already upset about being restricted on the number of invitees we could have. Because initially it was, okay, you can select all, okay, great, everyone, and there's an unlimited number of people you can invite. And then all these updates are going on, and then I noticed I was getting less than, being allowed a smaller amount. And so I figured, okay, what's the desktop? I went on the desktop. Yep, sure enough, cool, I can still do a select all type thing. But this time when I did it from a desktop, I was moving too fast.
And I always do it from my desktop. And I do hit select all, but they reduced my select all.
I don't even have the select all
less
option.
than 100, and I was doing 300 or more for everybody. Yeah. And now I have dwindled down to what is
that about? There's a reason for that. There's something causing
it's
a
control thing again.
But you know what I do? I am very active with what I post. I do post stuff about conspiracy theories. You know, I do post. I am, pro marijuana, so I do post about legalizing, and just corruption and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe that's why, because I'm posting personally. I'm pretty active about those articles and topics, but I also post them for our show site.
Right.
So I'm doing a lot, and maybe they're just not liking my message. I don't know.
Maybe not, but your messages are not.
I'm making an assumption.
If you guys out there don't have
no
this
idea.
experience, and maybe somebody can help walk you through it or tell you why it was there, because there's got to be some reason to cause them, even if they say it's speed. I don't really believe.
But see, here's my thing: if we're on desktops, why is it that I'm not allowed a select all button, but you are? I don't even have that option anywhere. I previously did. But I have not had an option, even on a desktop.
This is about control.
See, and I am frustrated with it also because even in your career, you're kind of stuck with Facebook because I can't tell you how many times I've applied for jobs and they wanted, and you couldn't get past the page. You had to put your social media, and if you didn't have anything, they show you how to set it up. So
they're gonna that's kind of like
yes, they wanted Twitter, they wanted Facebook, they wanted something, and I'm talking about publishing jobs, writing jobs.
Well, I can understand
communications types
because
of things.
You have to have a following. I can understand it from that type of industry.
But these types of jobs didn't necessarily require that because you were writing for somebody else. You weren't like as a freelancer. I can understand, but if you're in corporate communications,
no.
But and even different types
for
of
promotional
jobs,
marketing purposes, for that type of industry, for the writing, I can see that. You have to have a following. You need to be able to promote what's being written and who you're working for. I can get that part. Of course, anyone who works with promotions.
But if they said that, I would understand that. But it wasn't.
There wasn't
and they didn't say
an explanation.
No.
See,
that's what I'm saying.
Did you ask? Because I would have asked. Why do I need to do this?
No, they'll say we're not accepting any phone calls. You apply online. That's when when you apply for a job, it is strictly online. So if you do not know how to type, if you do not know how to read, you are not getting a job, and you cannot call anyone.
Right.
You can't check. You can't
do anything. Now, if it's just some other basic corporate job, and I'm being forced to get social media if I don't already have one, or no way.
I think all jobs are pretty much going to require it in some way.
Well, now they want to know.
They want to be able to follow you to see what you're doing.
Right, exactly. Now, during the hiring process, I understand that they'll want to see what you're posting and what type of person. I know that. They've done plenty of that, whether they're letting you know or not.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. But
on the table
right. So I get that. I mean, we do that. We're doing that with my job because it's supposed to be the job, the position is posted on the Facebook job market and also on some other search on Indeed. And when you apply via Facebook, it allows them to see what you have publicly posted. And some of the things that we've seen, I'm just like, why do you put that public? Why do you need nude pictures in public?
Well, it's no different than Facebook a couple of months back requesting all negative. What is it? All
yeah, but that was a scam.
Was it?
Yeah, that was just a scam. That wasn't a real thing. That was someone who hacked in and scammed.
Okay, because I know.
And there were
those who actually fell for it. Oh my God! Okay, I got to do this.
They want you to send me.
Get the F out of here. I can't remember what happened.
Your nude photos.
Oh, they were requesting.
But something's happening.
Saying to save them because people are hacking and they're able to get them.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, somebody's trying to solicit porn. Oh my gosh. Well, this Facebook thing, I think it's not something that I'm a big proponent for. But
I have some friends that are not on, that have never been on, and they do not care to get on, and that's just all there is.
Well, I let y'all know the reason why I even started social media was for this.
Oh, me too.
I didn't get on social media until 2012, and I was very happy without it.
Your life was going along
I was perfectly fine, and I didn't get, okay, what's the big deal with Facebook? I hardly ever posted. So first, my friends were all happy, and people, oh my God, you finally got on Facebook. I said, look. This is for networking stuff. It's for work. It's, career driven. Don't get crazy. And then they'd get upset because, well, you never post anything, or you don't comment, or you don't like, because I'm not on it.
See, I don't live my life on it.
I don't live my life on it.
Now it's completely different because I am more involved with my career and everything else. So I'm constantly on it. But recently I have fallen off. I've gotten bored with it. Post something here and there. But when you see me post a lot at one time, that's because I'm forcing myself to get on. Let me get this out of the way and get on with my life. I don't want to do a social media.
Well, at first I was happy with it. I was happy with it because people from high school and from, my hometown were finding me, and I was happy to make connections with some of those folks.
But weren't you living well and doing okay without having made
with
contact
any of these
my
people
over the years?
But I found out my best friend from elementary school was living right here, and I did not know she was here.
Okay, so that meant that you didn't stay in touch with her over the years.
No, but I found her.
Really
she found me through Facebook.
So what, you were missing? Y'all still keep in contact?
Yeah, we're close.
Y'all rekindled your friendship?
Yes, we did.
That's cool.
We're best friends again.
You really have a best friend at this stage in your life? Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm a dear friend from elementary school.
My bestie and I have been together since we were 12. Okay?
Y'all sound about 12. Speaking of adolescence, there was something today on that you want to bring up.
Oh, yes. Another thing that I saw, this is my day. There's an article, and you can see it on our page. I did post it. It's also on our Twitter. A 26-year-old teacher was caught giving oral sex to a 13-year-old male student.
To a boy.
Not only once. Another male student said, oh yeah, I saw it happen. Saw them engaging in sexual relations at one point or another. There was text messages and there were nude pictures. And the parents, the way they found it was because the parents had put a monitoring app on his phone. And so once they installed that, they had access to his phone, and they saw
see that
all this going on.
Right.
Well, here's the other thing. So
he was excited.
Oh, he straight up in the text messages told her, I want to have sex with you again. And she responds to him, to this boy. She responds to this boy, oh, me too, baby. I want you all the time with no limitation.
No time limits, yeah, I saw that.
She's breaking him in.
It's a boy.
It's a boy. That's right.
Like, what is so attractive about? I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Boy.
One of my students, because I'm a tutor at Sharpstown High School, and one of my students did say one of our teachers got fired for engaging with one of the students. And I'm like, first of all, I didn't even ask if they just come over and volunteer the information. So obviously they're still intrigued by that situation. But they had one apparently also.
I'm concerned about schools now as a former school teacher. Now you're having oral sex done at school, notwithstanding with all the other stuff that's going out there. And then you have all these shootings. Okay, so kids cannot go to school now and just be left alone. Not shot at, not shot at, or get shot. Not being sought after.
No,
you send your kids to school. That was one time a safe haven for children.
Right.
Now
the teachers were extension of parents, but they don't see me as an extension of parents. They want to be friends. Like, they'll show me all these videos. I don't know if you remember in the news, a situation where there was a group of people in the car and a woman, they had a gun and they were playing around with it, and the gun went off and shot the guy in the head.
Right, and the family was asking for her, like, oh, she murdered him, this and that. It's like,
right.
They were adults.
Well, it was on video, and one of the students said, look, and shows it, the whole situation, and I'm like, I never see anybody. The guy slumps over and blood just pouring out. I'm like, where do you get this stuff?
Graphic stuff. But because you know what, the media gives
comfortable showing me.
The media gives you what you want. The minute we shut down and don't want this, we won't get it. But we're all open. We're into gory, vile, heinous crimes. And
students show it to me, I guess, to get my reaction. I'm like,
no, because they're so desensitized. Because to them, it is a game. It's something that happened on screen, just like when they're on screen in those graphic video games that they play for, and you get extra points when you pick up prostitutes and you're raping and you're stealing, and you know, Grand Theft Auto, Sin City, Vice City. I mean, all of it. That's what it's all about. It's to glorify all of that. So when you see something in real life, big freaking deal. I do it every day after school.
Yeah,
it's no big deal. You know, they had this thing. I don't know if they're still doing it. I remember people were walking up to people and just, cold cocking, knocking them out. For no reason whatsoever.
The knockout game.
And nobody did anything. You just see somebody walk up to somebody, just straight cold cock, knock them to the concrete, and nobody rushed over to this person. They stepped over the person.
Oh yeah, they took out their cell phones to watch it.
We don't, and taking pictures.
No.
Oh yeah,
take pictures while it's knocked out on the ground.
The world is very desensitized. We really don't care about anything or anyone, and that's sad. And it's sad that that's where we are. But even with the schools, with the school shooting in Santa Fe, I think they shot 10 kids. But I think at this point, guys, I'm over talking. I think we'll be right back. We've got to go to break.
Listening to The Bridge. Share your opinion by calling 713-789-0096. Stay tuned.
I watch Evelyn to cue her because she can't see, and she can't see me because I.
You know what? I did it, but you couldn't. You didn't see me. I should have raised my hand a little bit more.
Yeah, because normally I'm like,
yeah, I didn't. Because I'm like, she didn't see
Each
me.
page is like a pilgrimage to self-discovery. Unlock your ingredients to loving yourself more. This book will stimulate your senses. Begin your journey to self-love today by visiting
I want to know what he looks like.
keys.com and place your
That's
order.
what I said. I catch a case. I catch a case. That's the same thing I said. I would catch a
She wants
case.
to know what it looks like.
They have to come get me.
no, seriously, because I'm trying to understand. Because when you see what she looks like, she's an attractive woman.
Big old
She's
wide
an
mouth.
attractive
She's like
woman. You see what her husband looks like. He's an attractive man.
Strapping husband.
You know.
And she did that. With a 13, yeah. And the husband is.
And the husband tried to defend her. That's the other thing I didn't get to finish saying about that.
Into that, both of them into that.
He may very well be.
He contacted the boy's father and was basically, because the boy's father reported to the police, hey, he's harassing me not to press charges, begging me not to press charges, saying, look, she made a mistake, but she loves her kids,
Does she?
Yeah, she loves them all.
She loves them.
Yeah, because we still gotta go back to the school shooting.
Her career is absolutely. She's finished.
Oh, they already reported it, her certification and all that.
It's all
Immediately. Even though,
And you almost charge so much to get that stuff.
even though she hasn't been convicted yet, they still went ahead and reported everything on her teacher certification and all that to the board. Yeah, she's done it. And it's on record, so she can't get a job anywhere.
Right.
Not as a teacher. And not anywhere around juveniles. Minors.
Sam Houston Race Park. Come for the fun.
Oh, yeah, I got to mention you checked in Chewy.
And we are back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Silky Smooth.
And daydream.
Today we have like an open mic. It's about just discussing those things that either irritate you or you just can't seem to make sense of. I think Daydream was speaking, I was actually talking about the school shooting, of which I'll go back to once you bring up the final point in regards to this
The 26-year-old teacher who was caught engaging in sexual acts with a 13-year-old male student. So aside from all of that happening, and the conversations that they had and the text messages and everything, she also, another boy came forward because the parent discovered in his phone that she had also sent some pictures to him.
Oh, wow.
So she sent nude pictures and herself in lingerie to the one she was
Where
engaging in
her
sexual
husband? Where the
acts.
hell was he?
Right. Well, here's the other kicker to it. The husband then is contacting the boy's father, and the boy's father is claiming it's harassment, saying that he keeps contacting me, begging me not to press charges, not to go to the authorities. His wife just made a mistake, and that she loves the kids. So that's what that threw me for a loop. First of all, it's a boy. Okay, it's a boy. Like I just don't get it.
I know.
And then
He's just in
Ew,
puberty.
it's just
puberty. I mean,
Just crossed over,
so
really.
disgusting.
You just kind of crossed over.
But now you have your husband who's coming to your defense. So what's really going on? Like, is he that insecure? Is, my thing is it really that bad? That you're, don't want to be that embarrassed? Like, I just...
You never know what goes on in the dynamics of a marriage, so you have no idea. But this is just crossed
Love
over.
is a crazy thing.
Yeah, well, spouses protect each other.
Like
Women-
that?
Yeah, well, women will protect their men when
Like
they commit murder.
that big of a hit to your ego as a man? I'm a man. That is a boy.
Right, exactly. He has got a lot of developing to do, and things are not quite in place just yet. I fully things are not quite in place just yet. I fully understand. He's a BOY.
Dude, if your chest ain't in place, I can't even, the rest of it, I can't do it.
No.
You have a bird cage.
Yes.
You're 13, you have a bird cage.
Right.
Ew.
Well,
Much less everything else? That, ugh. No, thank you.
Well,
That's
for some people, that's what they want. I just don't get it. But now, again, you have something you want to say?
I'm still thinking about the teacher, and I'm thinking in my mind, how did it go down? Did he say something to her, or did she say something to him? I'm wondering how the whole thing started.
It doesn't matter.
He probably doesn't. It doesn't matter. That's right.
My kids, I think they were all adorable, but I want to pinch their cheeks adorable like that, and they're 10th graders, so they've got mustaches and stuff.
Well, see, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids look grown. They look older than they are. The girls look older. The guys look older.
Oh, the girls are definitely.
Well, the girls are making themselves look older.
Oh yeah, they do full makeup in the bathroom and lashes, the whole thing.
Females are definitely overly sexualized at a very young age.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, on forward with the shooting in Santa Fe, I read somewhere that we had 3 schools in Houston that actually they found guns in children's backpack. We've had almost 20 high school shootings since January. Okay, that's a lot. I don't know why we have these. Either these kids are taking guns to school after having experienced this Santa Fe shooting, the San Bernardino. I mean, we can go on to a lot of them that have been radicalized over the period of time and kind of came out. But there's just something that we need to realize that, these are our kids. We cannot just leave them out there aimlessly to just realize that school is safe anymore. It's not.
Well, if parents had just been parents, and
instead of trying to be friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Or instead of, here's your phone, here's your iPad, here's this, here's that, just get out of my face, go entertain yourself.
And I could tell by the way the kids approach me, it's their parents. I'm like, I would have never approached a teacher the way they approach me.
No.
Well, I think
if parents had just been parents and paid attention and, put some effort into knowing what's going on in your child's life and be involved, then a lot of this could be avoided. A lot of this could be avoided, and then because of the parents of the shooter. So we had no idea this and this, that. You didn't even know what his room looked like. You didn't even know what his Facebook page looked like. How did you not look and monitor everything? How did you not realize that he had been bullied or was being bullied?
She's not paying attention.
Exactly.
Again,
you're not being parents.
Yeah. This whole thing of parenting now has to change. You have to almost adapt to the way the world functions now. That's probably going to precipitate more in-home schooling. It's going to require that.
Which means we're going to be even more retarded.
I was getting ready to say.
We're going to be more retarded.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I agree.
We have Evelyn who commented on our live Facebook feed who says more students were killed in high school than soldiers in combat in Afghanistan.
Absolutely. Now that's sad.
What does that tell you?
Right. Go to school, get an education, get shot.
May become obsolete.
Oh, I hope not. Oh my God.
School.
Oh my God.
Not every child can learn in that type of environment. Some need a lot more structure. Parents didn't want to get involved sending their kids somewhere. Why are they going to be involved to actually teach them themselves?
They're not.
They're not.
That's going to be a problem. And we don't even.
Oh, it's online. They get their homework assignments. They get sent to them. You still have to make sure they understand it. You still have to go over it with them. You still have to monitor things with them.
This is why other cultures are so ahead of us in academia. The Asians, the Middle Easterners, they're all ahead of us. They go to school. I don't think we've heard anything like this in some of their schools?
Well, no, not from the kids.
Happened? Where else have
Yeah.
school shootings happened? What other country?
That's what I'm saying. And see, then we glorify him, because I think the guy with the Santa Fe shooting, he didn't kill some of the students that he liked because he wanted them to tell his story.
Right. Tell his story.
Seriously, that's what
Put
he
him
said.
on the map.
They were nice to him.
They were nice to
they
him.
didn't bully him, and so
They
it's like,
didn't
okay,
bully me,
you know
so
what?
I won't aim my gun this way. I'll go to you because I don't like you.
Well, hopefully the bullet doesn't ricochet and still blow my head off.
But either way, the fact remains you have a gun and you're at school, and
Right.
these kids.
It was a cognitive choice.
Absolutely, and these kids are now doing copycat shootings. They're mimicking what they've seen other people do because they want the notoriety that comes with that. Because we glorify that.
Right.
We give their name, we show pictures of them, we do all these things that make them feel really important, and then there is their 15 minutes of fame.
Right. Yeah, 15 minutes of fame. I just want to say that thank you for checking in, Marlo. Thank you for listening. And Chewy Ortiz had checked in. Thank you very much for listening in to the show.
And also we have Richard and let's see, Paul and Annabelle. Thank you so much, guys. We're sorry. We're trying to scroll through everything over here.
I'm going to briefly give you some information on if an event should become an active shooting event. We've done this before. We've done this show before, maybe 2 years ago.
Right.
And gave a whole thing on Facebook about how you should, conduct yourself in such a thing. But a profile of an active shooter is an individual actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area, typically through the use of firearms. Now, the characteristics of an active shooting situation are victims are selected at random. The event is unpredictable and evolves very quickly. Law enforcement is usually required to end an active shooting situation. And also, as an active shooter situation, you should be aware of your environment. I cannot stress this enough. I am one of those people. I always have been, long before all of this happened. When I go to a restaurant, if I go to a place, even on planes, I'm quick to look for where is the closest exit. When I go to a restaurant, I call it the power seat. I look for the power seat. The power seat affords me the opportunity to see all of the exits.
Right. No, I don't have my back to the
I'm
door.
always thinking about that.
I don't have my back to the door.
I don't have my back to the door. And so you need to start being more cognizant of what's going on around you. Take note of the 2 nearest exits in any facility that you visit. If you are in an office, stay there and secure the door. Attempt to take the active shooter down as a last resort. A lot of people, it takes a certain type of situation or circumstance for you to go after an active shooter. You have to have somebody with you. Or if you see a clear moment, then you can really kind of go forward with that.
Distracted or
but
something.
They said basically when have an escape route and plan in mind. Leave your belongings behind. Don't try to grab your Louis Vuitton purse. Don't try to grab your cell phone. Seriously, don't try to grab your cell phone.
That message is for OMG because she's the one who really put down back. I just have an old busted backpack.
I'll leave that, okay?
Leave it.
None of that's important. Leave your hands visible so that the shooter doesn't think that you're reaching or grabbing for anything. Hide in an area out of the shooter's view. Block entry to your hiding place and lock the doors. Silence your cell phone. Nothing worse than, I guess, being in a situation like that and somebody's calling.
Well, yeah, because then your attention gets drawn. They weren't even looking at you, but now the noise causes right.
Exactly. As a last resort, and only when your life is in imminent danger, you should take action. Attempt to incapacitate the shooter, act with physical aggression, and throw items at the active shooter. I mean, there's a whole list of things. This is put out by the Homeland Security.
You can also yell stop.
Okay.
If you think about it, and I learned this in a training, and this had to do with basically teen killers. And it was a training that we were involved in, and that's actually what the officer stated, or the specialist stated, was that they were like, they noticed that once they did stop, they asked people, I yelled out at them, or I did this, I did that. They said, well, what did you say? And I was like, well, I told them to stop, and they blinked, and just like the glaze kind of left from their eye for a minute, and then they started up again. But and that's where it comes to when they were doing research and everything else. It's like a video game.
Yeah, and
so when they're playing the game, they're zoned out. They're doing this. They're doing that. Okay, cool. It's just I'm in a game. That's all it is. I'm in my zone until someone's yelling, "Hey, hey, stop!" Oh, what?
They're in a stupor at that point. It's really
Yeah,
and the
I'm
most
a
important
trainer.
thing that they forgot, period, was say your prayers.
Okay. Yeah.
That'd be the first thing that I'm doing.
Well, you know that I think for me, it means cook at home. That's that. No, seriously. You know, you've had people run through restaurants. You know, Waffle House. You have I think it was a McDonald's or something that somebody just ran straight through
Drove through.
Yeah. You know, so you don't know. And I remember my daughter once was at a grocery store on OST at HEB or something. Shooting just started out of nowhere.
Well, so
Wow.
OST.
Yeah, I know. But
I don't care how pretty you make the buildings, honey. I mean, it's still OST.
And so that was
Anybody from the H knows what I'm talking about. So.
That was her last visit to that store.
That was last visit going.
And listen, but from that point on, she has called Instacart. She doesn't even go to the store anymore.
She doesn't.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it'll change your
Especially with the
to
baby.
be around
Oh, my
that.
goodness.
Yes, to expose yourself and experience that.
See, and I'm all for observing your surroundings. We've talked about this. Always being aware, never be complacent. Always, have always be ready. My issue that I have with all of this is we are so reactive when we could prevent a lot of things by just being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Stop letting monitors and video games and social media raise your children. Pay attention to what's going on. Okay, when the teachers are calling you saying that there's something behavior issues or even homework issues, if there's grade issues,
you curse the teacher,
right? Behavior or grade issues, that should be a trigger. That should be a sign for any parent or guardian to say, hey, wait, something's different, something's going on. Let me see what's going on, instead of, why are you bothering me? I send my child to that school. You need to deal with it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of parents sit there and call me and would tell me I wasn't even a teacher. I'm the probation officer. I came after the fact. You created this monster. But then you want to turn around and tell me, well, you need to do a better job because he's still doing this and this and this and that. Well, what are you doing at home?
You're his parent.
You haven't changed anything at home. Of course their behavior hasn't changed.
A lot of the young parents have no responsibility because they themselves are children.
Well, now parents aren't even raising. Those who give birth to their children are not even raising their children anymore.
That's my point.
There's a lot more family members, grandparents that are guardians.
And your president said, give the teachers guns. Now, how stupid was that? How stupid was that? You want to have a shootout, Wild West.
Ignorant redneck comment.
Wild West at school. You're going to tell the
student.
Yeah, that's just,
Same teacher did all.
Exactly. Some people I want to ask, why do you have a family? You could have chosen not to do this.
This is
just, if you don't want the responsibility, just choose not to do it. You don't have to have a family.
I'm going to tell you just how unpopular your president is. You notice I said he's your president.
I
hope I haven't. Yeah, have I lost this? Anyway, basically, I think Donald Trump has a disapproval rate of 52.6, and he has an approval. And he has an approval rate of 42.2. Mm-hmm. Now it goes on to show you other presidents over a period of time. Barack Obama had 48% approval. So I'm just going to show you that Trump is lower than everybody. Trump is 42. George Bush Jr. was at 72, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
Likability, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, and 42
I voted
for Trump. Then you've got Bill Clinton. He was at 50.9.
Yeah.
Trump again at 42.2. George Bush, old man, was 65. Trump 42.2.
What did Reagan?
Reagan had 45.
Yeah.
Trump had 42.
Oh, and the economy sucked with Reagan.
Jimmy Carter had 43. Trump had 42. Gerald Ford had 44. Again, Trump has 42. Richard Nixon had 57.
Oh,
and Trump has 42.
And he's a crook.
And he was a crook. Believe that.
He had higher
bigoted, racist, prejudice. Oh,
and then
everything.
Lyndon Johnson had 68, and again Trump had 42. John F. Kennedy 74, Trump 42. Dwight Eisenhower 61, Trump 42. Harry S. Truman 43, and Trump 42. Lowest approval rate of any president that we've had in quite some time, dating back to Truman in 1945 to 1953. It's been that long that he was still, pretty much had lesser scores than any of the other presidents.
Wow.
I want to say something about this royal wedding. I thought it was kind of
interesting.
interesting.
Before we do that, real quick, shout out to my mom. Hey, Mom. Say you're watching. Okay,
good.
Yeah, the wedding I was
I wish my mom would be on Facebook and watch. She just refuses to cooperate with Facebook. So
Well,
interesting that
so.
Harry has just busted, and pushed aside a lot of
He did that
barriers.
when he brought home a black woman. That's it right
Yeah,
there.
that was first thing.
That's
Yeah,
what initially did it.
Yeah,
Anything after that.
yeah,
was-
but I think the whole thing is rather interesting that he's just shaking things up, and because I kind of thought it would be William, the one that would do that.
Why?
No way.
What's name's a redhead? He's wild. Redheads are wild.
Is that what
And
it
he
is?
was always,
Harry's always the
He was the
the
real
mischievous
child.
little,
Yeah,
you
he
know,
one got in
yeah,
trouble.
the one partying,
Yeah,
the
the one
ladies'
women
man
like,
type.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I
And
just
he's got hair. He's not bald like his brother.
I know, right?
yeah, his hair is thick. He has a good hairline and everything. He's got the good hair gene. But it was just refreshing to say, okay, all right.
And
See, I didn't even watch it.
What about Marco's father?
I didn't, real quick, I didn't even watch it. The way
I
I
didn't
even
either.
knew the
4
royal
o'clock
wedding
on
was
it.
on was because I was getting off of work at 5 a.m.
Right, it came at 4
And I
o'clock.
happened to see, I saw the TV. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow, the royal wedding. Oh, I didn't realize that was already going on. All right, cool. And then I go to sleep.
Right.
I couldn't believe so many people. I had my friends, close friends. Oh, I'm crying right now. Da 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 da.
Are you
It's like, it
serious?
is not like really.
It
It's the
probably
royal
was.
wedding. It's not your cousin. Okay, it's
No, I don't
not.
feel
It's not
all
our home
emotional.
from college.
Yeah.
That hey, we just
Well,
couldn't
it
be
could be
there.
emotional again simply
It was
because
the
it's a
embracing
black
of
woman,
a black
and it was a
woman.
black woman.
Is,
Again,
is that what?
it's kind of like Esther.
See, and I still
Bible.
have yet to watch it. I still have yet to watch it. Okay.
I'm like you. I went to work and my colleague was saying, "Did you see the royal wedding?" She says, "I got up to watch it 5 a.m. and I'm like, "No, not
I'm
at
like,
all."
people don't even get up this early for your job. You
Yeah,
go to work, and you
right.
do this for a royal
I'm
wedding
sleeping
on a
until,
weekend.
I'm
But it's
sleeping until
another
the
time.
last possible minute. I says, "I'll catch it later."
Just like having Obama as president, it is a time in history. It is something to, if you get a chance to witness
This-
it,
Right.
then
I
that's
really
what
didn't
it
think
is.
about it in that aspect.
That's
It
what
was
it
just
is.
like, really?
You know. But I think he broke the barrier when he brought her home because all the white girls were worked up. The ones that he had dated prior to her, they
Right.
were pissed off.
Well, and not even just that, but there was a lot of Europeans who had some nasty things to say about her.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
They,
because
you know,
she's well, not only
a lot of
was she a
racial
black woman,
slurs.
but she's divorced. Because that's unheard of.
Right.
Right.
Divorced, and I believe she wore a white wedding gown.
Mhm.
So obviously she wore a white wedding gown even though she wasn't a virgin.
Is
and
this
then
staged?
they got a black man preaching. They got
Is
all
this
these black
staged?
folks
I
singing.
know.
It could be.
I don't know if this is all
It could be.
staged or I don't know.
We have a comment that says Prince Charles set it up where there was an African American choir and African American preacher. It was very wonderful and spiritual.
That's what I'm saying. So
Well,
it's a
and-
historical moment.
Right, and that I get. Okay, in that aspect, okay, I get why it was such a big deal. And things that I've read on the article, and I mean on the wedding, and even some pictures that I've seen, I think it was awesome the way they incorporated
It was cute. when they got
everything
into
and
January.
classy and just just the bits and pieces that I saw. I didn't get to see everything in its
Right.
entirety, but so I get that. I can understand that.
But her dad, he staged all these pictures from the paparazzi, and so he couldn't even walk his daughter down the aisle.
Right.
He was so busy trying to make money.
Mm.
So he
Yeah,
was
that's
barred.
just
He
Her
was
white
barred.
dad.
Yeah, I'm so
I'ma
glad
say
he
that.
wasn't a black man. Gosh,
It
I'm
was
so
her white
happy.
dad.
Because
the
again,
mom is black.
Right.
Yeah, but
the
he
mom
went.
is-
He went for the money. He wasn't there for his daughter to do what he was supposed to do
He's
to represent.
pathetic.
Yeah, he's trying to make money and having himself, photographed. Studying the royal wedding, studying the etiquette, all that's involved. And
He
now you
could have
don't-
been
now you
there
don't
right
even
in the
get
thick of it, and he'd
to,
rather
now
be
you don't
outside.
get to go.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
What a
sure.
dummy.
he had his own agenda.
Gloria Armstrong, author par excellence,
Okay,
has
hey.
checked in.
Hey, Fly,
Thank you.
how are
Hey,
you?
Fly.
Fly will be here in a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. She's coming this way, so
Oh, I hope
I'll look forward to
so.
seeing her then. But now, you guys aware now that there is a chef. I'm sure you guys may have seen it. There's a chef that's using cannabis.
Yes.
To
Cannabis
help-
cookies?
No.
Culinary,
Culinary, fine dining,
fine dining,
incorporating
strands.
cannabis.
So everybody
Cannabis
just be walking
salad.
around stoned, okay?
Well, no.
She has different strands that she
Don't-
uses for different seasonings that goes
Yes.
with different dishes. But
Okay.
again, is that a painkiller in your food? What is that supposed to do? What is it
Well,
supposed to be?
not
Drugs?
even think about it. Cannabis is not just used.
For pain.
It's not just used for pain. Okay, there's also it's also used for PTSD victims, depression,
Yeah, but
that type
sort
of thing.
thing.
So
Epileptic
a lot of
seizures.
holistic overall wellness.
I get that.
You
But
know, and keep in mind, Seriously, keep in mind it's the CBD in it that she's utilizing.
Okay, well then just do. Okay, I didn't get that.
They're heavier. Yeah, they're heavier
THC.
CBD. Absolutely, THC is what gets you high. Now
you.
she has incorporated where she utilizes THC heavy strains. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And even the people who were eating, they said that they've smoked that. And she'll tell you, oh, this strain is this. It's, it was that, whatever. It pairs well with whatnot.
With certain dishes.
Right. And they said, hey, well, I've actually smoked this strain, and this is completely different from what I'm feeling by ingesting it. Okay. They said it was a completely different. One lady was just like, I just feel so peaceful right now. Just so.
See, that peaceful salad.
Yes, I'm saying I don't get.
Yeah, and one girl was just like, I'm just so
happy.
I just don't get going out to eat and getting stoned.
Because then you don't have to sit there and smell like it.
I know.
There's still that taboo where you have to, oh my God, they smell like hot. Like, okay, let them spray. All right, cool, whatever, get over it.
Hold on one second.
But they're going to come up with sprays.
We'll be right back. We've got to take a break. I think we have to take a permanent break.
Yeah. We didn't even realize how second was.
It's time for us to go.
Right. But they're going to come out with different types of hair and body sprays so that you don't have to smell like it. Watch, once it becomes legal.
Well, it doesn't matter.
We got stuff now, but the bottom line is just that they're going to, again, when they come up with something and when they decide to do it, they're going to shove it down your throat.
Oh, yeah.
Get some nag chompa.
Yeah, they're going to shove it down your throat. And then people are going to look down on you if you don't utilize.
Guys, have a good rest of the week, and we will be back next Wednesday at 5. So tell your friends and do tune in. So we'll see you next time on the radio.
Have a great day.